this system? Were you hoping for more? What do you think you've learned from it tonight?
I think the players adapted really well. We controlled the game, so we needed stability and possession. I think the longer the game went on, we obviously accelerated it with our changes. Denmark defended really narrowly, and we had trouble getting Raheem and Jayden into it in the first half in particular. We needed to play forward a little bit more from midfield. But given where we're at the stage of the season and the fact the first time we've tried it, I was pleased that it gave us a real strong base to work from, and we can learn more as we play it more regularly about some of the nuances of the system that can create more problems for the opposition.
Yeah, how concerned are you, should you be, about the lack of creativity over the two matches, really?
No, I'm not concerned because we've got those players, and in the first game there was just no space at all, and the physical conditioning of the players and the lack of training time and the lack of match minutes was a huge factor. Today we tried something different, and I think some of the outlets. I mean, Trent hasn't had a minute of match football this season, so he got good minutes under his belt. He'll be able to give us more down that side as he gets fitter. The front three the same, and we've obviously got. I've lost count of how many players missing, so I'm so pleased with the players who have sacrificed holiday, really paid good attention to keeping everybody secure over the last few days. They have given everything, and lots of debuts across the two games. Some real pluses in people like Eric Dyer, who's had two excellent performances at centre-back. I thought Calvin Phillips came into the game well. He started a little bit nervously, but I thought he really emerged into it. I thought Connor Cody was excellent. His organisation of the defence, his distribution of the ball, those long diagonal passes. So I'm really pleased with what the players who are here have given. It's great credit to them. We take 4 points back. Of course, everybody would have liked 6, and we nearly had that with the chance at the end. But it's in our hands now with the games at Wembley.
And you finally gave Jack Grealish his chance for his first cap. What caught your eye from what he did in the relatively brief time that he had?
Well, firstly, I thought Mason Mount was excellent as we moved him back into central midfield, and that was something I've not seen him do since he was 16, 17. So that was a little experiment we wanted to have a look at as well, and it helped us to move the ball a bit more quickly through the middle. And Jack did fine. He had one lovely run into the penalty area that I thought he was going to get a shot away. So, he's dipped his toes. I think importantly for him, he's had the chance to work with us and see the intensity that we work at, bed in with the squad, get an idea of positional expectations, and he can build on that now.
And listen, how are you feeling after the week that you've had? Are you feeling absolutely frazzled? It's been an extraordinary week.
Pretty normal week as far as I can see with England, John. So, no, I'm resilient to it. I was determined we were going to leave here with something. We weren't going to, come out, be loose and frivolous and fold because of everything else that's been going on. We were focused on the job. We were a strong team of men. We needed that. To get through the two games the way the players have at this stage of the season, we shouldn't really have been playing, frankly. It doesn't work for clubs. It doesn't work for the product of international football. Not ideal for any of the players, but the games went ahead, and I really have to praise the effort and the endeavour of the players enormously.
Let's go.
We'll briefly stick with radio broadcasters and go to Faye Carruthers from TalkSport next.
Hi, Gareth. Bearing in mind what John just said and the week that you've had, were you pleased to come away with a point? Obviously, a goal would have been better, but you got yourself a clean sheet. Are you relieved in a way?
No, we want to win the game, and had we managed to finish the chance at the end, of course, is the obvious one. But being a little bit better in that final third, then we had enough control of the game to have maybe created more chances than we did. But that will come. So, yeah, I think we needed a night where we had as much experience on the pitch as we could and stability. There's been mayhem, frankly, for 3 weeks, and 2 clean sheets and solid performances and strong focus on playing is great credit to the players that were here.
You said you weren't concerned about the lack of creativity, but Mason Mount and Jack Grealish really made a difference when they came on. Is there an argument to say they maybe could have been brought on a bit earlier?
I think you have to get a foothold in a game, and Mason has never, I don't think, has played that role in first-team football. So it was something that we felt as the game developed, and we've talked about having a look at him in the past, but you've got to make the changes at the right times, and we didn't know if others could last the 90 minutes. We knew we were going to need to get Trent off because he hasn't had any match minutes at all. So it's a bizarre thing, really. You're playing an elite level game, international level, and you're having to really time your subs carefully because, Kieran Trippier went with cramp 5 minutes from the end. That could have been a number of others long before the end. So, of course, you might manage that game differently in a different period, but that's what we had to do today.
Obviously, there's been a lot of attention on Jack Grealish, of course. What did you make of his debut?
Well, firstly, I thought Conor Cody's debut was absolutely outstanding. He organised the game. He organised his teammates. His use of the ball was excellent. I thought Calvin Phillips' debut was one he can be proud of. He got more and more comfortable as the game wore on. Obviously, Jack, we gave about 20 minutes, and he had one nice run where he dribbled into the box as he can and drew challenges and looked like he might get a shot away, but wasn't quite able to. So for him, I think a good experience to be with us and to see how we work and the intensity of the play. And I'm sure he'll be energised going back to his club now and knows exactly what we're looking for from him. And he's enjoyed, he fits in well with the group. He's a good kid. I've worked with him with the under-21s, and he's a smiler, which is great and brings energy.
Just finally, I understand that you've spoken to both Mason Greenwood and Phil Foden. What do they now need to do to regain your trust and be selected for England again? And is October too early for them?
Well, I've got a lot to think about. I mean, it's as you say, trust needs to be rebuilt, and that takes time. And I think with both of the boys, I said yesterday, there has to be consequence to what's happened, and then we've got to try to help them rebuild because, young people often, older people do. But that doesn't mean that, you take that, hold that against them forever. They've got to have a chance to rebuild, and with the spotlight that's on them, with what they're having to go through at the moment, with what their families will be having to deal with, then that's an incredible ordeal for young people. And I don't think you can underestimate the impact that will have on them. So I have to try to help with their club as well, that rebuilding process, but also be very clear to them and all the other players, the expectations and the responsibilities when you wear the 3 Lions and the importance of that pride in the shirt and everything that means.
Thank you, Gareth.
Okay.
Thanks, Faye. Rob Dorset, Sky Sports News.
Hi, Gareth. Do you think? I mean, look, I know how difficult a camp this has been for you. You've just used the word there. I think that's the strongest I've heard you say, that it's been mayhem for 3 weeks. Do you think that what happened with Greenwood and Foden had an impact on the rest of the squad? Were the teammates angry with them, and did it actually disrupt them, the squad as a whole, more than perhaps we realised?
I think the players that are still here did remarkably well to keep their focus on the game. I think we've talked all week about the need to adapt to whatever situations are thrown at us, and there's a strong mentality within this group of players over the course of three 4 years, they've had some incredible nights, really amazing experiences. Places, the evening in Bulgaria was an incredible one. The tough matches that we've had to come through. So those experiences, those shared experiences as a group, for that core group, have really helped them to build a fantastic spirit. And people like Cody, Ward-Prowse, Ings coming in, all of the players who've come in, the more experienced ones have added to that group, and they've picked up the thread. They understand how we want to work. We've, of course, had a disappointing, a more than disappointing sideshow yesterday. But the rest of the group showed with their mentality that tonight they were here to do business. And of course, I know exactly the reaction on whatever it is people choose to react on Twitter or whatever it is. And I know 100% what all those comments will be, 100%. But I'm proud of the way the players played. They played with great responsibility. We'll get better as the season goes on. Some of them who've dipped their toes will be, enriched for the experience. And we move forward with 4 points, 2 clean sheets.
Thanks, Rob. We've got 2 more to finish, starting with Matt Law from The Telegraph.
Hi, Gareth. I was just wondering, because we spoke to you quite early in the day yesterday, and you obviously have to yourself more details of what actually happened with Phil Foden and Mason Greenwood, and we've since found out more details just through things emerging. How shocked are you actually as you find out more details of what actually occurred?
Yeah, I don't really understand how players could have felt that was acceptable. So that is a puzzle to me at the moment. But what's clear is that we talked about a COVID breach, and initially that was 100% what we needed to take control of. We had to act quickly. We had to make sure that we got the right decision. Clearly, what's emerged since has meant that whether there'd been a COVID situation or not, we'd have been sending the players home anyway. So, everybody else needs to understand that that's not going to be tolerated within an England camp.
Thanks, Matt. And we'll finish with Simon Peach from Press Association.
Hi, Gareth. It's obviously there's been some serious negatives, but is there a lot of positives you can take as well from this? And do you feel like you need a bit of a lie down after the last fortnight?
No, I don't need to lie down. I've had 6 months lying down. I don't wish to go through that any further, thanks. So I think that our back three tonight were excellent. Joe Gomez very stable. Connor Cody we've talked about. I think Eric Dyer's had 2 excellent games at centre half, and that's a real plus for us and for him, because we wanted competition for places in that area. And there's no doubt in my mind he can be a top centre back. And I've had long conversations with him about that change of position over the last 18 months, and I think he showed tonight and earlier in the week what he's capable of. It's always nice to give debutants their opportunity, and I think everybody that's debuted has done well. Ainsley only had a brief spell at the end, but when you give somebody a brief spell like that, you need to have the faith that they're going to do the job. And he recovered and did an excellent piece of defending. He made a super run in behind their defence that almost created a winner. And those 5-10 minutes are important. If you get 10 minutes in a game, do it well, because then the next time we know that we can trust people. So I did feel there were some pluses, and the fact that we had so many players missing and such difficult preparation, but we leave still in a strong position in the group. I knew Belgium would win heavily tonight because Iceland were lying on the floor with cramp on Saturday after the game with us. So that was an inevitable outcome of their game. But it's in our hands with the games against Belgium and in particular, and Denmark at Wembley.
Thanks all. We'll end it there as I have Harry Kane ready and waiting to jump straight in, so hold the line for a few minutes.